Gareth Morgan's Opportunities Party has officially launched its election campaign, promising to change the political landscape by getting rid of the old guard. The fledgling party, which was founded last November, unveiled 20 candidates and a lofty ambition to gain 10% of the party vote in September and 30% in 2020. Our political reporter Demelza Leslie was at the launch in Wellington.
The party founder and leader Gareth Morgan chose the charming St John Church Hall in central Wellington to launch the Opportunity Party's campaign. In front of a crowd of about 50 people, he introduced his election candidates and spoke about how the major political parties were failing New Zealand. He warned the existing political system was throwing a hospital pass to the next generation.
We're leaving them loaded with debt for their education while we ask them to pay for our retirement. We're pricing them out of the housing market so we can make tax-free capital gains. We're importing cheap, unskilled labour to cut them out of entering the job market and turning the country into a low-wage treadmill economy. And when they don't conquer the massive hurdles we put in their way, we make them jump through hoops for welfare payments while calling them lazy dopeheads.
The wealthy businessman says the Opportunities Party is already making big strides with those who are tired of the old establishment.
It hasn't been easy. We're the new kids on the block here, so we don't get the sort of coverage or funding the old establishment parties have access to. But we have one advantage. We are free of the hatred of old tribal politics. Yes. We know what we stand for.
TOP is building on its lead over the other minor parties such as ACT, the Māori Party and United Future, notching up 2% support in the latest RNZ poll of polls. But the party says it wants to reach 10% in the election in 6 weeks' time. Its Hamilton West candidate Donna Pōkere-Phillips is confident they'll have members in the next parliament.
There was talk today that we're sitting at 4% now, or nearly 4%, so that 5% threshold is, we're just about there. I live in Hamilton West, and so I deal with vulnerable communities, and there are a lot of people that haven't voted for many elections, 2 or 3 elections. So I'm starting to get people enrolled. So, that's the key too.
TOP's Rangatata candidate Ollie Wilson says he was involved with the National Party for years but became disillusioned. He believes he's typical of a TOP supporter.
My campaign team, I sat down the other night and said, look, you don't have to tell me, but who did you vote for in the last election? We had Labour, National, ACT, Māori Party and Green. So we're across the board, and I think that's what we're finding down there. People are generally looking at the policies and saying, right, what actually works? I think they get sick and tired of this talking about changing stuff but not really doing anything about it.
However, Gareth Morgan says the Opportunities Party has no interest in being in government or having ministerial positions. He says it will auction off its confidence and supply to the party that supports the biggest number of its policies.
It's very simple. It's just an auction. So whoever gives us most of our 15, or whatever the number is, I think it's 15 now, policies, they get the nod from us. Well, I'll just say, we've got 15 policies. How many are we allowed to do in the first 3 years? Whoever gives us the most, they get the nod.
The launch was the first time the 20 candidates from all over the country have met. Gareth Morgan expects to have up to 25 list and electorate candidates by the time the election rolls around. From Parliament for Checkpoint, Demelza Leslie.